Hey, it's Nedved, and I'm back with another Prediction Princess Shaddolls deck profile. So my last video, it was more like a TCG profile, and also it was like a 46 card variant I was working with. As of late, I've been playing more Master Duel, not a whole lot. As you can see, I'm only at level 16. This is the only account I have. I do have an alt account on my Xbox, but I haven't dueled a single time with it. Regardless, I've been playing on and off, but I've been trying to optimize the Shaddolls deck, and a couple weeks ago I trimmed it down to 40 and been having more success. Every few nights I grind, and tonight's been pretty good, so I'm going to showcase the trim deck. It's actually 41 cards, but it had been 40 for a bit. Currently though 41. Anyway, so yeah, currently, I got thrown back into silver following the new season, which was weeks ago, I believe, but slowly working my way back up. I'm currently on a 5 duel win streak, 2 wins away from plat, and all these duels have been Prediction Princess Shaddolls. And like I said, currently on a 5. These have all been against Sky Strikers, Code Talkers, Numerons, Aeromage, and Dogmatica. So this recent player was playing Dogmaticas. I think this Code Talker player didn't seem to have, when I was looking at, I don't really know Code Talkers, but only 13 cards in the extra deck. May not have been a complete deck, probably wasn't. Sky Strikers, I just don't lose against Sky Strikers. Seriously, with this deck though, Prediction Princess Shaddolls doesn't lose against Sky Strikers ever. In all honesty though, it's just not a good matchup for Sky Strikers, this deck. And I honestly don't think I've ever lost against them, and come across them quite a bit too. Anyway, so yeah, it's been a really good session tonight. Like I said, 5-0. I'm just going to showcase the deck now. Now that it's a little more competitive, more refined. So actually, only the last couple duels I've been using this precise deck. But the change I made was just one card. And I'll get to that here, but so the 41 card Prediction Princess Shaddolls deck that I've been riding for the most part. So to start, one Morphing Jar. You aren't really seeing this card, you're not really activating or resolving this card too often, but of course it's very powerful and is searchable off Behemoth Fiendus. You can send it to the graveyard with Behemoth Fiendus. You can also dish it with Foolish Burial and bring it back with Terror Tray. Situational, but there are times where you can full combo and then flip it up with Terror Tray and just draw 5 and keep going. Additionally, you can time it where you make your opponent discard their entire hand at a good time for you, and just kind of shut them down. So with the Shaddolls lineup, it's going to be more trimmed down than your average Shaddolls deck because we need room for Prediction Princess cards. So with that being said, one Falco, one Hedgehog. Falco's really nice just to bring back, any Shaddolls card from your graveyard. Fairly situational, but Hedgehog I only just added. I still think it's a little overrated, but I see why it's run, and honestly, more often than not, I guess I'm benefiting its destruction effect more, just getting something in my hand, like a hollow for a ritual play. Double Wendy. 2 Monjus. So this was the only change that I just recently made, as I was referring to earlier. This was, for the longest time, up until 2 duels ago, and it's better with this. It's more consistent. I had the Trick Clown and 1 Monju, and the reason why I had Trick Clown was just, of course, it's like that extra special summon. Level 4 too, and a light, it's nice, but Monju's also level 4 and it's a light. And instead of a free special summon, you get to dig for a ritual spell or monster card. And I've realized after playing this deck a lot that is more consistent. You do, it's just so huge. You can rather have a free level 4 body on the field, or you can bring out Terror Tray more consistently. And Terror Tray is bringing out any flip monster from the graveyard or hand for free. It's a walking Book of Moon. It speaks for itself. Double Manju, definitely the play now. 2 Squamata, 1 Dragon, 1 Aerial, In Double Beast, I'm still sticking on the Double Beast. I can understand if you want to cut this for something else. Honestly, you probably could. It's just the draw power, and here's the thing why it's more justifiable in the Prediction Princess deck. It being a level 5, it matters. It comes up in terms of needing those levels to bring out Terra Tray. This in level 4, and then you have just enough levels for Terra Tray. Yeah, so combining it with a level 4, it just increases the consistency of special summoning Terra Tray. Virtually every single duel, I'm using both Beasts effects. That extra draw power, I mean, if you can abuse it, why not? This isn't really just like a really stubborn play by me. I would cut it if I genuinely feel like it needed to be cut. It doesn't need to be cut. You can argue there's something better, but I play this deck at crapload, man, and it being a level 5, those extra levels for the consistency of getting a Terra Tray, like I said, it's worth it. And it's a Shaddolls card, it speaks for itself. Double Pot of Forbidden, so I only recently just brought this back to 2. It was sometime between the last profile I uploaded and now, but it wasn't super recently. But I realized it's just too powerful of a card not to have at 2 in this deck. It's a Kujikiri Curse target. It's an entire tribute summon for Terra Tray. You can bring it back. You can search for it. You can bring it back with Terra Tray. You search for it with Behemoth Fiendus. Dish it to the grave with Behemoth Fiendus, and then bring it back with Terra Tray. It's just too good. In this particular deck, you really do want 2. 2 is the gold number for Pot of the Forbidden. 1 Hell Shaddolls Hollow. I've ranted about this card countless times, but it's so good in this deck. You target a face-up monster your opponent controls, send a Shaddolls monster with the same attribute from the extra to the graveyard, and if you do banish the monster, we have lights, darks, and earths, so anytime your opponent's running those monsters, easy access to Hell Shaddolls Hollow, 2900 body, huge, banish your opponent's monster, and it's an entire, you use it in its entirety to bring out Terra Tray because it's level 9. It's amazing. Its destruction effect comes off to mill cards. Anyway, triple Terra Tray, 1 Foolish Burial, triple Shaddolls Fusion, triple Pre-Preparation of Rites, double Kujikiri Curse. We got 7 level 9s now. I don't think you need to bring this back up to 3. I've been running it at 2 for quite a while. It's pretty good at 2. Well, still only double Ritual. Honestly, you don't really need 3 of these. I haven't really looked back. I mean, right at the beginning I did for a moment, but it's just been working so well. And it kind of sucks because it has that graveyard effect to search for Terra Tray, which is awesome, but you just don't need 3. You're not summoning Terra Tray that consistently. With that being said, you do want the 3rd Terra Tray over a 3rd Ritual because Terra Tray is a light, a level 9. It's just more valuable in this deck, being Shaddolls. Triple El Shaddolls Fusion, 1 Sinister Shadow Games, 2 Paleozoic Dynamiscuses, 1 Resh Shaddolls Incarnation, triple Judgment, and 1 Schism. This just seems to be a really good package of traps. You have just enough defense with the Judgments and Dynamiscuses. You're seeing these virtually every duel. It's obviously they're very good cards, just shutting your opponent down. Resh, I was running 2 for a bit. I think my last profile I had 2. You just really don't need a second one, unfortunately. I do love the card, but you don't need to. Sinister, a really solid card. I mean, maybe you could swap this out for like Mathematician, but Sinister's a little more versatile, being a trap. Anyway, going to the extra deck now. Not a whole lot of changes here. There are a couple significant ones, considering this is a Master Duel profile versus the last one being a TCG. Regardless, if this was a TCG, if I was playing TCG, this would still be the exact deck, other than True King of all Calamities basically being in here because you can't play that in TCG, obviously. But in Master Duel, we got double Winda, double Apclone, and I'm actually running 3 El Shaddolls constructs because Hollow. We're sending Shaddolls from our extra to the graveyard to banish a lot. Not a lot, but you just don't want to run out of El Shaddolls constructs. I'm not saying you absolutely need the third, but there has been the odd time where I've really needed it, and maybe I could have played a bit better and, you know, not put myself in that spot. But this has been working out really well. I don't need any other cards in here. One Shackanaga comes up. They're earth monsters, gives you an extra attribute to banish of your opponent's on your opponent's field with Hollow, because you can send this to the grave and then banish any one of your opponent's earths. One Baguska, not totally mandatory or anything. Tricking of all Calamities, and then Zeus. So of course there are a decent amount of level 4s, 5 or 6 of them. So going into Baguska, attacking, and then Zeus, viable option. 6 level 9s, like I said, that's why we have Tricking of all Calamities. If this was a TCG profile, this would probably just be Infinitrack Earth Slicer. If not, Hyperitron, but probably Earth Slicer. And then Behemoth Fiendus. This card can take a bit of getting used to. I'm still kind of trying to figure out when to go into it, but it's very good. It's 2 flip monsters. We're basically running all flips. And you can send, during your main phase, you send 1 flip monster from your deck to the graveyard. And if you do, special summon 1 monster from your hand and face on defense position. So basically get off any shit all effect by sending it to the grave, and then special summon any monster from your hand face on defense. You need to look out for this when you have Pot of the Forbidden in hand, for get it on the field for free. Like I said, I'm still getting used to this card, but I know it's worth running. And additionally, if a monster this card points to is flipped face up, you add a flip monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Versatile. Shuttle Construct. Nightmare Phoenix. It still comes up sometimes. And Cross Sheep. Anyway, that is the refined, no fluff Prediction Princess Shaddolls deck that I've been working with for the last few weeks or so, a couple weeks. Like I said, there were a couple small changes I've made as of recent, but very confident in this deck in terms of it being the best it can be. I'm sure, you know, obviously it's not perfect, but it's getting up there for how good the deck can be, I believe. But anyway, try to keep you guys updated, and thank you for watching.